Welcome to another episode of the Loadout Music Podcast, featuring in-depth interviews with a wide range of music personalities, from rock and roll Hall of Famers to Grammy winners and today's rising stars. Recorded in St. Louis, Missouri, now here's your host, Aaron Perlitz of Atomic Junction.
Welcome back to the Loadout Music Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Aaron Perlitz, and today I'm joined by singer-songwriter Andy Frasco of Andy Frasco and the UN, which just released its 10th studio album. Andy's also the only person I've ever seen described as having a Jew fro in an official press release. Only in the official press release, at least in recent memory. Welcome, Andy. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm honored to that's how people remember me. They just Google Jufro and they see a guy crowd surfing Jameson.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to John, your press guy, about that, about why he chose to put that in the press release. But no,
Well, I'm honored.
it's funny, I've been kind of as I've been thinking about this conversation, I've been kind of diving into your whole catalog material, and it's interesting in that I was reading some quotes by you, and that you want the new record you've got out, "Growing Pains," which is a pretty apt title to me. You kind of wanted this album to move beyond your reputation as I think the quote was, a crowd surfing party guy. Um,
Yeah, yeah. Same
yeah,
thing as the Jufro.
yeah.
Same a stereotype.
But it kind of interested me in that it made me think about my own growth. And, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And when I was young, I spent so much time trying to be crazy and whatever and capture people's attention by using humor and things like that. But as we kind of grow and mature, we kind of find ourselves and start diving deep into, our own getting a broader perspective of who we want to be and what we want to be. And so I'm fascinated because to hear about your journey from the beginning. And you had told me when we were talking before that you started off actually working in the music industry, got into music in your late teens, but how you kind of evolved into the type of performer you are. And, when I listen to it, it's like really the kind of music you want to listen to when you want to have a good time, a really
Yeah.
good time. I mean, it's fun. It just gives you a sense of fun. But there's some darkness on this new record. And so I'd love for you to kind of track for me that where you started and then why you've chosen this album as a means to, or a vehicle to really start maybe exploring, whether it's a darker side or just it seems like some serious shit you're looking at.
Yeah, I always I always tag myself as I'm an optimistic depressed person, so I basically I am going to talk about the sadness. All my songs are kind of like, if you deep go into the lyrics, they're all pretty fucking sad, but there's hope, hopefulness in it, because I don't think depression lasts forever. I think depression is just a state of being right now. Maybe it's from doing blow last night, or maybe it's from taking DMT or drinking too much or not sleeping for 2 days or having a heartbreak. But my goal as a songwriter is, if people are depressed, depression doesn't stay forever. Depression is just um for now. And if we can convince people's brains that depression isn't forever and that there's light on the other side of the tunnel, I mean, that's what my vision is for the music. So getting to there, what I got to there was I was partying way too fucking hard for the first. I mean, we've been doing 250 shows a year for 15 years. And I was just not we were just playing every day and just trying to entertain each crowd instead of like worried about the work of art that we're trying to do as a band. And then it took 5 records to finally just like get comfortable with like not talking about partying and talking about, you know, sadness, and being
Yeah.
okay with sadness, because sadness, we don't know sadness and how we know happiness. So I wanted to put an optimistic take on sadness, because I've always been sad and I always had that cloud over my head. but I've always tried every day to realize that this isn't full time. You could get out of this mind state if you just stay present. So like my goal always my whole life is just trying to stay as present as I can because I'm on my phone fucking 24 hours a day. That the 2 hours that I get not on my phone and on that stage is I don't want to take that for granted. So and that and also I don't want to take the great years of my life where I feel like I'm writing the best art for granted and just writing songs that are stale and with no substance. I want, while people are listening to me now, I want to really tackle the hard things that people are afraid to talk about, like mental health and anxiety and depression. And even all your favorite musicians are living on the road, just fucking suppressing their feelings. It's not all just fun and games, but we're still trying to make it the best we can, you know?
Let me ask you this, and I apologize for the 18 dogs behind me barking, but you said earlier, you said I've always been sad, which is not in any way kind of the public persona that you demonstrate. And not to turn the again, not turn this into a therapy session, but where does that sadness come from? Was it ingrained in you growing up? I mean, you talked to me a little bit about how, your dad wanted you to play baseball and you played a lot of baseball growing, but where does that sadness come from, you think? Have you spent time thinking
I
through
think
that?
it's like loneliness. I think it's my sisters are 8 years older than me. My parents are older. That I was just kind of just a loner, and I would just like the only thing that entertained me was reading All You Need to Know About the Music Business by Donald Passman and Guerrilla Marketing and the music and I was like an emo kid, and I'd go to Vans Warped Tour and just see all these screamo kids talking about the saddest fucking lyrics on the planet, but everyone is just hugging each other, and I'm like, damn, it's my community, you know? Um, and I've always been 1 foot in, 1 foot out with friendships. I never really committed to anyone. I've only committed to one girl in my life. I've always had this one vision that I was gonna be this like Kerouac type of guy and just live on the road and never commit. It just the only thing I commit to is my dream and my art. So I think I destined myself to this world of loneliness because I know the bigger picture is my sadness won't be remembered. It's what I, how I approach it is what will be remembered. So I try to not think about the present, or I try not to think about the internal sadness for the bigger picture and stuff.
Yeah, and I can certainly understand about that loneliness because I know that, as an alcoholic, that was a lot of that was driven by loneliness. But I think a lot of it, I'm curious in your case, do you find that you're almost manufacturing that loneliness and the reality is that you are actually surrounded by people who love you, care about you, and it has
Oh,
historically
fuck
been more thing
yeah.
in your mind? Yeah.
Absolutely, brother. It's that tortured artist syndrome
Yeah.
saying like, "Oh man, everyone's against me. No one's against you. You're against yourself." And that was like, it took me 37 years to love myself. I've not, you know, haven't loved myself for a long time. It's the first year I finally put my shoulders down and realized this is how people perceive me now publicly is who I exactly want to be. I I'm always wanted to be the songwriter. I knew I was good at entertaining, but I always wanted to be that songwriter people went to. And so it was self-tortured so I could write these sad ass songs. I grew up in Calabasas, bro.
Well,
You know?
and that's the funny thing. I mean, you kind of do a bait and switch on people. You talked about how you were writing these songs and people didn't recognize maybe that they were about a lot of sadness. You listen to your music and the melodies, the arrangements, they are fun. They give you energy. But yeah, particularly on the new album. But I mean, I was able to kind of find a little bits and pieces here. But there was one line in the new album that just kind of like, I don't know, kicked me in the balls. It's from the title track. And it's very beginning of it. You say, got a good thing going, but I'm still not okay in here. And
Yeah.
to me, that kind of it framed everything. It's like, everybody thinks all the shit's good, but in here, me, I'm
Oh yeah.
not feeling that. I'm not believing that.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, half the things I write about are like to convince me to fucking chill out, even with my
Yeah.
Monday motivations for anything. It's like, yeah, everyone, you think like success is something that will just like say, oh yeah, all your demons, everything is just poofs away once you get success. But like, no, I'm fucking tired, dude. I'm out here, I'm in the streets, I'm like, I feel like Bernie Sanders up in this bitch right now, just crossing my legs, and going to Poughkeepsie, But but that's also the idea of wanting more. So like the reason going back to the happiness thing now is I stopped wanting more. I started enjoying this now. I was always thinking about tomorrow. I wasn't thinking about today and how I can approach this show today. I was thinking about fuck, I got to do 3 podcasts this week for my actual podcast. I got to write a new record. I got to work on the budgets. Like I kind of took all um that weight off me, and I've been happier. It's like that saying like, how heavy's your backpack? And then once I started taking all that weight off my backpack, I'm like, oh shit, it is okay to just rot on my couch for a day. I never gave myself that. I always felt like I had to put my nose down and work. My dad's my biggest idol, and he taught me work ethic, and he never stopped. He was uh my mom liked money, so my dad had to fucking make some money, so
Well, coming from a Jewish household myself, I can maybe relate to that. Uh,
yeah.
so
But you
you,
know what I'm saying about the presentness?
oh
Once we
yeah,
start being present, I feel like anxiety goes away because anxiety is the past and the future, right? Problems. But there's no anxiety in the present unless you're like getting hunted down or something.
yeah. Well, and
Yeah,
you talked about the metaphor of the backpack. You also find a lot of shit in that backpack that you don't need. That just like
exactly.
not only does it weigh you down, is it destructive to you, but things that you're like, why do I have this in my life? Like, I have no need for this.
Totally. Totally. And you realize how, I mean, it's like even with addictions, like I don't need to be fucking snorting ecstasy on a Tuesday anymore, I don't need that fucking
Wednesday.
weight.
That's a Wednesday through Sunday thing, man. Fuck Tuesdays.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why it's hard for me to go home to Denver. Like I normally stay in the town for like 3 days to have like landing gears. Because if I go straight home to Denver, I'm partying, I'm drinking with my buddies, I'm catching up with friends I haven't seen in 2 months, So it's like I'm learning how to just wind down and get my brain back because this thing is crazy what we're doing. We're playing 200 plus shows a year, traveling every day. I mean, this thing's fucking insane. And like
Yeah.
one of the only bands that are still doing 200 plus shows a year. So it's like I have to. I know that's what I need, but I also know that I need to stay alive. So I have to sleep and drink water, and I got subscribed to like these IVs, which I think might be a ripoff, but I never seen so much water on my lips, I've never had so much moisture on my fucking lips, So I'll take it
Oh,
as a go.
speaking of someone who's, I actually have an apartment in Denver. It's a good place to chill. It's a good place
Yeah.
just to kind of step outside. You can see the mountains in the distance, and you're like,
Hmm.
this is nice, man. They give you headspace too.
But also, if you walk outside, everyone's doing ketamine. So, it's you have to like learn how to fucking just say no because that town is a party town.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little more on the new record. You have some interesting collaborators. I mean, you got Billy Strings, Mike Gordon from Fish. You've got G Love on there, who I thought it was really interesting. You have Love on there because I think having grown up listening to a lot of G Love, or at least in college, when I heard your sound for the first time, it reminded me a lot of his feel, obviously less rap oriented, but there's still kind of a groove to it.
Yeah.
But also, I know Daniel Donato's on the new record and Steve Poltz. And uh, why, out of curiosity, why bring in all these? I mean, these are great collaborations and with some super talented people. Is that unusual for you to bring in outside collaborators outside of your inner circle, or was that something specific you wanted to do on this record that was different?
I mean, that's the membrane of our band that we win.
Yeah.
We have 20 people sit in with us. All our friends sit in with us at festivals and stuff. And I've always been that guy who never wanted to ask for favors. I always just kind of just did it myself every time. And I just got this big record deal, and people said, "Well, it's time to start asking for help, you know?" So I asked Billy Strings, I asked all these guys to be on it, thinking like, these guys are just gonna say no. Then they say yes. I'm like, fuck, I got 11 collabs on the fucking record, you know? But that's my membrane. I'm a, I use a lot of analogies in basketball. You know, I'm the point guard. My goal in this thing is to pass the ball, get people their shots, glue this community together. I'm not the greatest fucking piano player. I'm not the greatest singer. My goal is when all the bands are together at a festival, I'm getting everyone together so we could show how much of a family this is. Like a lot of people don't realize how hard it is. Then and we're the 1% who get to do this, and so we need to celebrate that we have each other. And my goal in the community is to be the glue for the community, so we could all kind of just stay alive and do this till we're 100 years old. And it's more fun when you get your friends involved. So it was hard to like ask my friends like, hey, here's a song about almost killing yourself. Put a guitar track on it, like, but they trust me, and they think now they're accepting me as the songwriter. And so it was just really nice to have everyone say without a doubt, yes, I'd love to be on the record. So, yeah. It is like a jam band gangbang on, especially on like Life is Easy, So it's like I but that's my whole MO. I want everyone involved. I don't need all the glory. I just want to make the best art I can with my friends and kind of all keep taking the stairs together because we're not the jam scene's not a fucking elevator rise to the top. You're taking the stairs 1 inch at a time. So we might as well take the stairs with your homies.
Yeah, so you are the
Hell yeah.
Jamal Murray
Yeah.
of your music community, and I think
100%.
we both know what kind of game Jamal Murray's got. He's got real game, man. That dude can play.
Yeah. And
That's
sometimes he fumbles the bag, but when it doesn't matter. But when it comes playoff time, my man will score 40, 10, and 5.
no doubt, man. Him and Jokic are gonna. I also want to thank you. We're 6 seasons in, and I've never had a gangbang reference on the show, and so, dude, I could have used that by at least season two, and so I'm kind
Damn,
of.
Bro Bible? No one brought the heat on the Bro Bible, huh?
I'm kind of bummed, man. But now I feel whole. I feel
No.
yeah. Now what is it? Now the circle is complete. Um,
Yeah. The circle like Pennsylvania.
so tell me, I know you've got a ton of tour dates going on. We're talking to you from Missoula, Montana right now. Um, what do you see as, obviously you put a record out, then you hit the road, you promote the record. Uh, Records today, depending on their actual value, become more of an excuse to be on the road. What do you see as kind of the next evolution for you in this kind of musical journey that you're in?
I I would I This is my 11th record, or 10th record. So I've made records just so my fans don't get bored because we're playing three times. We play these towns 3 times a year, I flipped it. So like now that I made a record that I could do an album cycle with. I never had that album cycle. The jam scene, we don't make money off our records.
Yeah.
Normally, we make money off being in the road playing in fucking Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Mississippi. So I think and with ADD culture so crazy right now, like people forget about the record in a week. So it's like, what's the point of like putting out a record now. I think you should put out just songs. Whenever a song's done, just put it out. It kind of fucks the because I love the art of making an album. It's just like a such a cool journey. But people are getting less and less interested in a whole record now. So we
Yeah,
need to
nobody
like
gives
kind
a
of
shit. Nobody gives a
no,
shit about it.
exactly. So like, what's the point of like promoting a record and like edging, just stroking and edging your fucking record for 6 months and keep everyone hard for a second, and then it comes out, and then once they come, it's all over.
All
So
right,
like,
favorite art. You just topped it. It was it was kind of Ray Wiley Hubbard because he's my hero, but now we've got Gangbang, we've got Jerk Off.
uh,
Yeah, we've got
see,
it all.
I've been doing trazodone, so like I have no libido now, so I didn't take trazodone last night. So maybe I'm just horny. I don't know. I'm just talking about dick and cum and pussy.
It's
Uh,
a uh, seriously best interview of the year at least. But I think of the 6 years.
but yeah,
We're
you know what I mean? I think people need to put out two songs every couple months and just
yeah,
keep you don't need to put out a whole record in 2 years. People forget about you. Like I feel
yeah.
for these bands who are these album cycle bands who can't tour without new material. So like, how are they going to make money in this economy when venues aren't taking risks on bands who don't put out records every 2 months, or every 2 years? A lot of people are just not taking risks. Like, I'm thankful that me and my boys put our head down and went to work. So now we can just always play in any town. We're like, everyone tells us we're the king of the Z market, you know.
I don't
So,
even know what that means, but I like it.
we don't play fucking, we play New York once every couple years, but we'll play fucking Poughkeepsie more
So
times.
like the tertiary markets, not even the secondary.
No, we're deep. We're the blue. We're like Bob Dylan in the '50s playing the corn the
Well,
cornfields.
I think what I liked is that I read a quote by you that said, you're talking about your dedication of life to doing this, but you said, we want to give it 130% of our energy. I just have to tell you, you can't give 130%. You can only give 100%. That's it.
True,
That's it.
true.
That's bullshit. But
Well,
it,
the other 30% you're lying about. So when people say they're giving 100%, they're really giving 70%.
yeah. But it does seem like though, from what I gather, you seem like you're in a really good place though, like just psychologically, spiritually. I read something else where you were talking about like I think the term you used was my cup is full. You said like
Yeah.
it took me 15 years, but I feel like I'm starting to get credit that my dreams are coming true. What's that like? Because people are always. I'm always curious when people feel like they've reached a certain point in their career where they're like, "This is what I had been working for all this time."
Well, the first 10,000 hours is the anxiety hours. The second 10,000 hours is the fine tune, the chipping. I feel like I finally got to that second 10,000 hours where I know who I am. I don't need to fucking lie about it anymore. I used to have to lie to boost myself up and shit and like say, yeah, I'm fucking bigger than I am. I stopped doing that. I know who I am now. And yeah, like I appreciate you saying that, it's like I don't need to like I used to just like try to do everything. Like I said, I started a podcast. I've been writing songs for these country people and saying yes to every show. But like with the idea of my cup is full, now I can say no to shit. And it's kind of nice. It's freeing that I could, in my brain, feel like I don't have the anxiety to just play everything, do everything someone tells me. I could pick and choose what I want to do. And I think that gives me freedom to in my brain that I'm fulfilling my dream. And going back to like what's it feel like to fulfill your dream? It's scary. Like what's the next dream? So, or you could change your brain saying, all right, now let's just fine tune the dream. If we're already seeing the dream, the big picture of the dream, let's like fine tune it to get even deeper into the dream. So it's like, it's the thing, sometimes I see like, I have these goals, I see them, then I'm like, I could quit now. And I'm like, what the fuck am I saying to myself? I'm not going to quit. I'm 37 years old. What am I going to do? Go into real estate like my dad? Fuck no. It sounds horrible. So so I'm gonna just keep fine tuning, trying to pick out ways to just be a better songwriter, be a better entertainer, and also to be a better person. Like I don't know. I've dedicated my life just to the craft of being an artist. I forgot that, I need to learn how to do laundry and I need to learn how to fucking clean a house and fucking water some plants. There's other sides of life than just your dreams. And I think I'm starting to realize I'm totally cool with having both sides now.
Andy Frasco with Andy Frasco in the UN. The new album is Growing Pains. Dude, did we miss anything? I think we've gotten gangbangs, we've gotten masturbation, but we've also gotten some depth here, man. This has been great, dude.
Thanks, man.
Wish you guys nothing but the best, and thank you so much for being on the show.
No problem, man. Well, when I'm in Denver, holler at me. Let's go have a sandwich. I know you don't drink, so I'll meet you during the day.
A very large sandwich. Andy Frasco.
Pleasure, brother.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Loadout Music Podcast, hosted by Atomic Junction frontman Aaron Perlett. Find all of our episodes and more at loadoutmusic.com.